Hi, this is battle report number 2 of my Blood on the Blade campaign. If you haven't seen battle report 1, I'm going to put the links in the description below so that you can check that out. In this battle report, you may remember from my other battle that sadly my barbarian was killed and Zobek, one of the members of the group, was captured by a group of slavers. This scenario is the rescue scenario. The objective is to rescue as many prisoners as you can. You can recover some of your fallen allies, in this case Zobek, but you could also find some other people and they may actually give you rewards for rescuing them. So the objective is rescuing those prisoners, but also clearing all of the encounter tokens placed in different areas of the battlefield. So after making their way through the ruins of Agamon, the group managed to find the hideout of the slavers. This part of Agamon was normally plagued by all sorts of dangers and aberrations, but it was somewhat quiet. Perhaps the slavers managed to fend off or kill many of the threats in this area. Nonetheless, the group proceeded cautiously. They started to infiltrate this place of ruins. They immediately spotted a Green Island slaver and his mastiff. A bloodthirsty beast, as dangerous as its master. Richard, the knight with the white cape, pulled out his crossbow and took a shot at the mastiff, but he missed. The mastiff moved quite quickly. It flanked the group and immediately made its way towards Mordecai. It's obvious that this beast is more cunning than expected. Mordecai, the sorcerer of the group, dressed in his red cloak and skulls, decided to back away. He limped across the field because he was wounded in the last battle, so now he's not as fast as usual. The mastiff decided to attack Regdar instead, but it missed as it took some bites. They simply could not penetrate the solid armor of Regdar. The slaver started making his way across towards Richard, taking cover in the trees. Regdar started to exchange blows with the mastiff and immediately wounded the mastiff. Blood was pouring all over the place, but the mastiff kept on fighting. Mordecai noticed that the slaver had his eyes on him, so he decided to take refuge immediately behind Regdar and Richard, because they threatened the area around them. He was going to be safe from the mastiff and potentially from the slaver. Regdar cut swiftly with his blade and managed to kill the mastiff. The slaver used his whip against Richard, but the experienced knight managed to avoid the attack while putting his crossbow away, and then Regdar charged the slaver, cutting him down. The group decided to explore the windmill just at the east side of the field. They thought they heard some noise. They explored around the windmill and even its interior, but they found nothing. And yet they kept hearing these noises. So they explored the side house. And what was making the noise was actually Zobek. He had been left tied up and unguarded. They immediately proceeded to untie him, and they recovered his mace and his shield that were left carelessly to the side. Perhaps the slaver that was guarding Zobek had been the slaver leading the mastiff towards the group of mercenaries. Or perhaps there was another slaver that was too careless, or perhaps he got killed by some other threat in the city of Agamon. Nonetheless, Zobek was back and ready to take vengeance upon the slavers that had captured him. Mordecai proceeded to chant the words of power to heal Zobek of his wounds, but he failed. Some sort of eldritch interference was acting upon his sorcery, so they decided to move on. They explored many places around this section of Agamon. They went into the ruins of a particular inn that seemed somewhat suspicious, but it was empty. They decided to make their way across towards the Barbican. Surely the group of slavers used this structure as their hideout. Carefully they made their way towards the Barbican. They went inside, and it was dark, but it was empty. This was getting highly suspicious. Something was wrong in this place. The Green Island slavers came from exotic lands, so their tactics and their methods were unknown. They decided to keep on going, exploring, going deeper into the ruins, and they went into this site of some sort of ceremonial purpose. And there they found two people tied up to a sacrificial stone altar. And there they found another member of the slavers with another mastiff. Regdar immediately charged at the slaver, and even though she was quite agile, she was overcome by his swift cuts, and he immediately stabbed her and brought her down. The mastiff was engaged by Richard. They exchanged attacks, time and again, and Richard found his opening and brought the beast down. The group of mercenaries decided to escort these rescued slaves or prisoners, and they decided the bridge was the best way to take them swiftly across this dangerous area. However, they kept hearing some noises near those trees in the western part of these ancient ruins. As Mordecai accompanied the prisoners across the bridge, as they made their way and stumbled down, Richard, Regdar, and Zobek took position around the trees. Mordecai went to the highest area of the bridge, ready to unleash eldritch havoc upon the threat that will be revealed. But there was nothing behind the trees. Was there anything at all? Was it just a trick, a delusion, some figment of the mercenaries' imagination? Or was there some sort of evil spirit playing tricks with them? Maybe they will never know. So it was quite easy for the group to escort the prisoners towards the southern end of the battlefield. Once the prisoners were rescued, one was grateful, but he didn't have anything to repay the adventurers, but the other one convinced his family to reward them handsomely. While making their way across the different ruins, they stumbled upon Olaus, a member of the barbarian clan of Angus, the barbarian that died in the other adventure. So now they have recruited Olaus. Hopefully he will be more skilled in battle than Angus. The group also stumbled upon an abandoned mastiff. It's obvious that the slavers were not too kind to it. So Regdar, the leader of the group, decided to take this mastiff as his companion in future battles, as the beast had taken a liking to him, and he was somewhat experienced in training animals. I forgot to mention that the group managed to rescue some parts of the armor of the slavers, because this armor seemed quite effective and exotic, so now they are equipped with this armor that is more effective than their usual armor, at least when it comes to the things that you can find in Agamon at the moment. So this is the end of the battle report. It was somewhat of a disappointing adventure because I didn't find too many enemies, but I'm also grateful because, as you could see from the other battle report, this game can get quite dangerous. Your characters can die somewhat easily. So in a sense, I'm glad that I didn't bump into a big group of slavers with their mastiffs. I only found groups of twos, and they were taken down quite easily. And now that I managed to level up my mercenaries, I can continue. I think I will... I already made the roll. I will go to the next mission, which is a scout mission again, to see if we can find some other things. My group is not very well equipped. You can level up the reputation level of your group so that you can face off against more dangerous and challenging monsters and such. but I'd rather prepare my group, perhaps get it to 6 adventures in total. I used a couple of new things, that is the free downloadable content brought by Gotardo Sankani, which is the Green Island Slavers. It's a new enemy. And there's also the Warhound that I acquired. It's a thing that you can purchase with experience points, and this hound does not count against the limit of your group, so it's quite awesome to have another combatant. However, this Warhound is somewhat fragile, so I think you should only use this beast in emergencies. Keep it somewhat of a distance and then attack with it. You can also train the Warhound and make it a bit stronger, but it still feels a bit more fragile when compared to the other members of the group. Well, thanks for watching this battle report of Blood and the Blade. I highly recommend that you give this game a try. It's a good and simple skirmish dark fantasy game. So maybe perhaps in a month I will bring out a new battle report. Who knows, because I'm somewhat busy with the reviews. And in a few weeks probably I will bring out a review that also features a very awesome skirmish game and quite different from this one. I will also bring out a battle report of that game. Some of the miniatures and the terrain used in this battle report I have already reviewed. If you haven't seen my videos featuring those pieces of terrain and those miniatures, I'm going to put the links in the description below, so you can take a look at those, because they are quite awesome to use. They look so nice, so beautiful on the battlefield. Well, once again, thanks for watching my video. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. See you later.